David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I actually have 3 pens for you from an established brand that here in the US I believe you're going to be seeing more of, and that brand is Dupont. What I'm going to do today is talk a bit about the Dupont brand and give an overview of 3 of the pens in their line D series. Thanks go out to Coles of London for providing these pens on loan for review. Coles of London recently became the US distributor for Dupont. Dupont was founded back in 1872 in France by Simon Tissot Dupont. He founded the company after his carriage business was destroyed by a fire. His company focused on leather briefcases until the 1940s when they produced their first solid gold lighter. And then they branched out and began producing luxury ballpoints and fountain pens in the early 1970s. Over the years, they've become a well-known luxury brand. So, in order to take a closer look at these 3 pens, please join me over here at camera 2. The pens we have from Dupont are the Line D Large in black, then we have the Line D Medium in black, and then we have the Line D Atelier Large in blue. Let's start actually by taking a look at the parts and features of the Atelier, and then I'll show you how the other 2 models differ. The Atelier is the most expensive of these 3. It retails for right around $900. Atelier is actually a French word for workshop, and in English is typically used to describe the workshop of an artist of fine or decorative arts. It's made from a natural blue lacquer, and the trim is gold-plated. The lacquer on this model is applied with a technique called popote, P-O-P-O-T-E with an accent on the E, where varying colors of Chinese lacquer are blended and then hand applied. It has a real silky pearl-like feel to it, as well as being resistant to scratches and heat. It's a little hard to see here, but the lacquer does have a bit of depth to it and some variance in color. It's really subtle, but it's just not a solid blue. At the end of the cap, there is the Dupont D, which I do like. It's like the pen is monogrammed just for me. The finial transitions into the clip. There is a little black lacquer insert here at the top, almost looks like a shield. And then the clip tapers down just slightly. It is hinged, which I like, and it was a little surprising to me just because at first glance it didn't appear to me to look like a hinged design. The Atelier is a numbered edition. On the side of a clip, it is engraved with Made in France, as well as the number of this specific pen. On the other 2 models I have here, the clips are engraved with serial numbers rather than the numbered edition. The cap is a little bit bulbous to where it does angle up until about this point and then tapers back down until you reach the cap band. On the band, it is engraved, as we'll see here, with Dupont. And then there is a winged wheel, which used to be part of the company's older designs. It does say Paris, and then there is a leaf symbol, which represents the use of the Chinese lacquer in this pen. The barrel tapers down at a consistent angle, and then on the end we have a gold-plated piece with a very slightly rounded end. The Atelier has a snap cap, as do the rest of the models. Now, the luxury DuPont lighters famously made an audible ding when you open the cap. The marketing for these pens says that the sound that the cap mechanism makes when capping and uncapping is supposed to mimic that very distinctive ding, but I can't say I agree with that. This is what it sounds like. And that I believe it just kind of sounds like just about every other capping mechanism for any pen that I've had. So I don't necessarily feel that it matches that distinctive ding. Once you get the cap off, underneath we have this medium 14 karat gold nib. On the nib there is a shield just like there was on the clip, and then again we have the Dupont D logo, and underneath the logo is the winged wheel logo. And then here's a look at the unique low-profile feed. I like how this nib kind of wraps around the feed, and I like the curved design on the edges, as you can see here, of this nib. This gold-plated section begins with the flare. The section does have ridges, which I find helpful. With this being a metal section, metal has a tendency to be a bit on the slick side, and those grooves really help maintain a decent grip. That it's a decent-sized section, which can accommodate a variety of grip styles, and since this is a snap cap, then there are no threads. With the cap, this pen comes in at 46 grams, and without it, 27. So it's not a light pen, but it feels solid, well constructed, and feels very well balanced in the hand. The cap does snap to post. It has a nice posting mechanism that feels secure but doesn't require an overabundance of effort to operate. I do feel posting backweights this pen a bit, so I prefer to use the Atelier unposted. All three of these pens accept standard international cartridges and converters. Okay, what are some of the differences between these models? This large line D in black retails for a bit over $700, I believe. This model has a palladium trim and a black lacquer, and other than that is very similar to the Atelier. Then we have this medium model. This model retails for a little over $600, I believe. First of all, you could see the size difference between the medium and the large here. You can see the size difference there. The medium comes in at 36 grams compared to 46 for the large, and the barrel is 21 grams. Other than the overall size, the medium has a much more narrow section, which doesn't contain any ridges. So I do find it to be a bit more slick, but this steep ridge right here does help maintain a decent grip on the pen. The nib size on the medium is smaller. You can see here in comparison. This is the difference in nib size. And the shoulders on this smaller nib are a little bit more pronounced. The shoulders don't necessarily wrap around the feed as much, and the edges of this are straight as opposed to curved like we saw in the other models. Let's take a look at some other size comparisons for these pens. That is the medium, and then this is the large Atelier, and this is what it looks like with a Pelican M805. And then here is a Mont Blanc 149. And then finally, here is a Sailor King of Pen Tangerine. Let's go ahead and see how these pens write. And to begin with, let's start with the Atelier. So we have the SD Dupont. We'll just say that this is the line D large. This is a medium 14 karat gold nib, and this is just some black ink cartridge that I have in here, and we'll have a little bit of a writing sample. I do care for this nib a great deal, that it feels very nice. It's fairly smooth. You can get a little bit of line variation out of here. The ink flow is decent in regard to reverse writing. It's not bad. It is a little bit on the scratchy side, but reverse writing is something that a lot of people use, especially when they're drawing with their fountain pens. But in regard to some fast writing, to see how the feed keeps up, I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever. Okay, so now let's take a look at the other model that we have here, which is the medium. So this is the line D medium. And this again is a medium 14 karat gold nib, but it's the smaller of the nibs. And this one It almost seems like it's a little bit more generous right from the bat, with less, that you get a little bit more with less flex out of it. And it seems, at least on this one, to be flowing a little bit more than the larger nib. In regard to reverse writing, it's a little bit on the light side, but it wasn't too sharp. And then in regard to some fast writing, there was no issue whatsoever. I'd like to again thank Coles of London for the loan of these pens for review, giving me a chance to take a look at the ST Dupont brand. Now that Coles of London are distributing the ST Dupont brand in the United States, I have a feeling that you're going to be seeing these pens in more US-based retailers. I found that ST Dupont is a luxury brand, and these pens come at a luxury price. Once you get up into this type of price range, value can become very subjective. But I do feel that each of these pens are finely crafted. They feel very solid and worthwhile in the hand. And as you saw in the writing sample, they perform well as well. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.